Now we burn incense in regard to the precepts, meditation, and emancipation. May the light and fragrant cloud of this incense pervade the Dharma world. We offer this incense to the countless Buddhas of the worlds of the 10 directions. May we be able to see, hear, and partake of the fragrance of the wonderful world of tranquil extinction. Oh, yogi. Ishin Before we begin today's service, as you all know, we do a brief sermon. So please place your hands in Hokai Jomin, Hadanarama. Silent meditation. Oshin-yo. So, many of you know, each Sunday I really look forward to being able to give a Dharma talk. And that I've always found that the best are given when it's something topical to the moment, that is something universal that we've all experienced, and something that's personal as well. As well as bringing in, tying it all together with how does our practice, specifically the chanting of Namu, relate to difficulty called life. So today I'm going to read one of Nichiren Shonin's Gosho on page 91 of the Blue Book, Sohoji So Sho, one that's oft mentioned and quoted, but I wanted to really take a look at it and what it entails. Specifically, for a term that we use in our Kyoji lineage all the time, Jisso. The characters for Jisso is can be translated as ultimate reality as it is. We jokingly, in our lineage, have adopted it that when everything goes wrong, we also say Jisso, as it is. And this was specifically brought about, for me, ironically enough, because of a video that was shared with me, making reference to Jim Carrey, the comedian, who has since had his own form of awakening, looking at this problem of ego and who am I, where do I exist, what is the central focus of purpose of life, and such that we all struggle with. And in the end, what I find interesting is that this flippant phrase that we throw out a lot of times of Jesus, as it is, really sums up the bulk of what our study is about. So let me read. Religious exaltation. Shoho jiso sho. Tears keep falling when I think of the current unbearable hardships, but I cannot stop the tears of joy when I think of obtaining Buddhahood in the future. Birds and insects chirp without shedding tears. I, Nichiren, do not cry, but tears keep falling. These tears are shed not for worldly matters, but solely for the sake of the Lotus Sutra. Therefore, they could be called tears of nectar. So, what I find so amazing and interesting about really any great leader, philosopher's writings is that it's a distillation of so much study, right? Without studying practice, there's no Buddhism, but it's a distillation of so much study and personal experiential knowledge that it comes off as poignant, but it's so much deeper than that. And so tears keep on falling when I think of the current unbearable hardships, referring to the unbearable hardships not only that he's going through, but of all of the people that are practicing Nichiren Buddhism that are being persecuted at the time for their belief. But I cannot stop the tears of joy when I think of obtaining of Buddhahood in the future. That the effort that is not just for ourselves of attaining Buddhahood in this here and now. Right? Now this is not Pure Land Buddhism. We're not talking about going to another world. We're talking about seeing the Pure Land all around us. And I don't mean put on rose-colored glasses, but to see that things are as they are, not wishing them to be as they are not. That in the end, it's our suffering comes from our own desire for something different than what there is. Based on a lot of factors, it might hurt, or it might be less annoying if it was a different way. But nonetheless, it is that way. And so he says this because he feels great compassion for all beings who are also in the sea of samsara, suffering, perceiving of suffering by wishing things to be something other than what they are. The first noble truth, all life is suffering, or dissatisfaction, or attachment, however you want to look at it. And he goes on to say, birds and insects chirp without shedding tears. To me, that's a reference to saying, Jiso, as it is. The birds and the insects do not complain if it rains, if it shines, if they lose something dear. They continue on. Now, we could look at this as that they're just dumb animals or something like that. But let's look at it in a broader sense that things are as they are. Happiness is. Right? There's a great cartoon that's at the Seattle Temple, and it's a guy sitting on a bench, and he says, "I want happiness." And a monk walks past, and he reaches into his thought bubble and he takes "I want" out, and just leaves happiness. Okay. He's so as it is. All right. Not wishing it to be another way.
But I was prepared for Tuesday.
I, Nichiren, do not cry, but tears keep falling. These tears are shed not for worldly matters, but solely for the sake of the Lotus Sutra. Therefore, they could be called tears of nectar. So one of the great things about the Lotus Sutra is that it assures every practitioner of enlightenment. Which means that all of the as-it-isnness of life is part of your eventual enlightenment. Water that is too clean harbors no life, harbors no fish. So in this time period where when we go through struggles or we achieve things, we attach to those things as being not only important but lasting, but in actuality they're constantly in fluctuation. The jiso. So if I attach to those things, then my content, my happiness is going to be attached to those things. So if I don't have those things, I will suffer. If I have too much of those things, I'll suffer. This is something we talk about every Sunday. So what do? We practice. We shed the tears of joy at being able to share this practice with others and to share this practice with ourselves. Because in the end, we don't really exist other than to do the one thing that all Buddhas think about, which is how do I cause all sentient beings to enter into the answer pathway and quickly become Buddhas? So as every Sunday, study and practice, share it with others, not in a creepy way. Someone like me, his name is Buddha. But show them by being able to be calm in the face of the storm and to understand that it's all part of the process. The process of becoming a Buddha. Not for yourself, but for the benefit of others, and helping others achieve the same. So don't lament what you've got. Enjoy. Jesus, so ultimate reality as it is. Okay. Please open your blue booklets. Invocation on page 5. Honor be to the great mandala, the perfect circle of all honorable ones revealed by our founder Nichiren Shonin. Honor be to the eternal Buddha Shakyamuni, our original teacher, the Lord of the Dharma, our great benefactor who attained enlightenment through the lotus past. Honor be to the Sutra of the Lotus Flower of the wonderful Dharma, the teaching of equality, the great wisdom, the one vehicle. Honor be to our founder, the great Bodhisattva Nichiren Shonin, dispensed by our original Buddha. Honor be to Renge Ajari Nichiji Shonin, the first overseas missionary. Honor be to the protected deities of the Dharma. We honor all of you. May you come to this consecrated place out of your compassion towards us. See us with the light of your wisdom and accept our offering of chanting the sutra and Namu Renge Kyo. Aikyo, page 7. 無料人人二名の法は約千万号にもありたてますることかたし我今検問し受持することを得たり願わくは如来の第一義を見せ至極の大乗ししべからず円満即地皆五大に近づく能戦は往診所詮は往診色その文字はすなわちこれを人内無料の武道皆この経に集まれこのゆえに自在に妙に訓示密に訳す内々実妙なし善を生ずもしは真もしは王本意仏像を上善三世の諸仏人人の妙伝なれ諸上生成自由し Shoeizan. Please turn to page 11. 오랭개교 오벤본다이니 이지세선
줄산마양조니 기도사의 것을 소불시에 젠쟁물도 도시에 원 단계 단유 이사의 쇼원 야물시 것을 소불소지 쇼이샤가 것을 소신원 야물센만 녹음을 쇼것을 진요 쇼것을 들여도 유뇨 쇼진요 쇼불원 쇼유진진 미소로 지기소 센스리슈 남계 사이러스 도주조 분시날 슈주맨넨 슈주리유 보행공조물 슈오벤 인도 슈도 요리 쇼자그 쇼이샤나 요라이 오멘 지켄 아라무스 파이 줄서를 사리어스 요라이 지켄 고다이 진넌 그려그게 이들 쇼이 젠조게 나스 산나이 진유르사이 조주리사이 미소르고 사리어스 요라이 노주주 분배스 요대쇼 온기유남 백가슈신 사리어스 슈요원시 무료무엔 미소르고 무시스 조주시 사리어스 무슈그 세스 조리샤나 무소 조주 나이시게르 단계시로 유리부스요 부스나이노 부진 조지소 조리쇼 요대소 요대쇼 요대타이 요대이 요대사 요대인 요대엔 요대가 요대호 요대홈마스 두교도 요리쇼 요대소 요대쇼 요대타이 요대인 요대사 요대인 요대엔 요대가 요대호 요대홈마스 두교도 요리쇼 요대소 요대쇼 요대타이 요대이기 요대사 요대인 요대엔 요대가 요대호 요대홈마스 두교도
Please turn to page 35. 오행개교 노라이주로 혼나이주로그 지가 도그부주라이
도교소 도유드요 야그센만 도유사야 소비 요세 도교계 부주로 부주조 요유로 부주조 이라이 드요고 이도주요고 오벤겐네랑 이기스부메스도 조주시 세포 나도주오시 이조진주리요 텐로주요 위원기 부켄 슈켄 자메스로 오크로 다리 겐가에렘모 이소 가스고 진주로 시생부 지지 き入難に心欲見物空気釈心用気学収束出量中戦他事用修上上大気空滅理法弁力法見滅量国修上修上心上者者無を理修理説上上国門師官理者滅上者検証修上没在の空海と空理見上皇上発語臨語宣言語内出理説法全数力上世法和早期法上大上重戦休養小数小修上健康人大多少少子大師上安の天人上中万万連小道各種種法上万法中大慶大修上小流楽小天百天中上差修気楽不安だらけ三仏九大修大乗道空気二修天上人空空小空の上世七十万世小大修上気楽五年年大遊びの不問三五の小宇宙六十は七七者大体験が心在しにせを悪気し修説物十無量空内見部者意説物難し他し力行税交渉無料有料無修行空修行小国上等武士者もとし小気長男老幼人仏語中空語料理全方面一応し法実在に根治無の説法も大学理性部中小部検査日本部天道実在に根滅以上見学校日照教師心法律逆道力他法悪道中他上気修上平等不平等未用上他上理性修入法毎日三千年二が領修上特入無常上即上入無心
Please turn to page 91. Religious exaltation. Ohoji Sosho. Tears keep falling when I think of the current unbearable hardships, but I cannot stop the tears of joy when I think of obtaining Buddhahood in the future. Birds and insects chirp without shedding tears. I, Nichiren, do not cry, but tears keep falling. These tears are shed not for worldly matters, but solely for the sake of the Lotus Sutra. Therefore, they could be called tears of nectar. Now we will chant the old Daimoku, Namu. Failures, please remember to offer incense. Everyone. Oppo. Shijonanji Nyakusanji Shaga Soku Kangi Shoju Yakunen Yoseshi Nin Shoju 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 Yuno Shoju Shojin Senyo Shikai no Shidasha Shoju no Orai Se Shoju Go Shin Shi Shujin Tenji Shujin Shogo no Shogo Tenji Please turn to page 68. Golden chain. I am a link in Lord Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing, protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and to do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that what I do now depends on my happiness and misery. May every living Lord Buddha's golden chain of love become bright and strong. May we all gain perfect peace. Please turn to page 71. We respectfully dedicate all our merits now gathered to the great benevolent teacher, Shakyamuni, the eternal Buddha, to the supreme teaching, the Lotus Sutra, to the leader of the declining latter age of the Dharma, our founder, the great Bodhisattva Nichiren Shonin, and to the protective deities of the Dharma. May all beings under the heavens and within the four seas live in accordance with the wonderful Dharma. May the wonderful Dharma spread throughout the 10,000 years of the declining latter age of the Dharma. May we realize this world is the eternal Buddha's Pure Land. May peace permeate all the world and all beings enjoy peace and happiness. May all beings live in safety and live long without misfortune. May the peace and happiness last forever and all beings be prosperous. We pray that all beings awaken to the true nature of reality, which is the Buddha Dharma. May all beings of all realms be helped equally, overcome suffering, and gain the happiness of blissful liberation through the merits of following the teachings of the Lotus Sutra. We pray for the spirits of our ancestors and for all the spirits of the universe. We especially pray for those currently in sickness and distress. We pray for all the victims of terrorism throughout the world, all the victims of fires, winds, floods, and other natural disasters throughout the world. We pray for Frank Hardaway, Martin Hardaway, Louis Dingler, for the people of Puerto Rico, for Stacy Perdue and Lindsay, Anita Cohen, Maureen Freeman, Christy Kazmarski, Kim Williams, Janet Williams, Richard Weinman, Misako Brainerd, Melissa Bowman, Michael Dean Ritchie, Manny Figueroa and Chappie, Aunt Bonnie Hours, Marjorie Cowers, Gail Bull, Jay, Anna King, Annie McAndrew, Laureen, Joshin Cushman, Brutus Todd, Marissa and Renee Hardaway, Melissa Schoaf, Dennis Sullivan, Ashley and Sean Waldron, Monica Shim, Megan Shim, Clarence Shim, Nadine Morsch, David Norman, Dirk Patton, Damian Reddick, Wendy Prevost, Jason Wellman, David and Yasko Spence, Michael Nahar, Richard and Lynn Bigelow, George Sullivan, and Robert Buchan. We also pray for those in memoriam. We pray for Amy and Maria Valentin, CP and Augustus Kroll, Albert Rivas and Yolanda Rivas, Selene and Joe Winter, Terry Capron, Bill Mears Sensei, Art Sensei, Jack Parker, Kazuko Jordan, Errol Scott, Cheryl Cushman, Aunt Barbara, Wayne, Ronnie Yogetsu Selden, Dennis Sullivan, members of the Show family, members of the Thibault family, members of the Krasnowski family, members of the Benuski family, Michael Maffei, Belinda Williams, Charles Bull, Helen Lawson, Dr. Peter Bowen, Maria Araujo, Donald Gregory, Tico, Josephine and Fructuoso Abad, Shay, Rilka, Ali, Russell, Scoop, Nick Cheat, Stella Hitchcock, Rex, Beef, and Star, Janice Goudreau, Zen Master Yokon Daikyu, the Morrissey family, the Bigelow family, the Sparks and Winter family, the Kroll family, the Craning family, the Cedarman Kobayashi family, the Jordan family, the mother of Juanita Young, Jean Knopp, Deidre Hussick, Nicole O'Brien, Robert Magoon, James Conklin, Keith Fay, and Marty Fay. May we purify our minds and limit our desires. Learn to be content. Feel free to experience the quiet, unassuming joys of life and learn to abandon all attachments formed in the mind. Today, may all those present remember that in those difficult points in life, that this is Jiso, as it is, and it is the fertile ground for their enlightenment and for the enlightenment of others. With this prayer, we endeavor to increase our understanding and appreciation of what others have given and contributed to us, and to develop constant, mindful consideration of how our thoughts and actions will beneficially contribute to others. Namu Myo Renge Kyo. Please turn to page 77 and 78. Shoeizan, the four great vows. Shujomu Hensegando.
Sentient beings are innumerable. I vow to save them all.
Onnomu Shusegandan.
Our defilements are inexhaustible. I vow to quench them all.
Omonu Jinseganchi.
The Buddha's teachings are immeasurable. I vow to know them all.
Utsudo Mujo Seganjo.
The way of the Buddha is unexcelled. I vow to attain the path sublime.
With this body.
Until I attain Buddhahood, I shall uphold my faith in the Lotus Sutra. Namu Myo Renge Kyo. Namu Myo Renge Kyo. Namu Myo Renge Kyo.
Then everyone's remember us. Be where your light can come again in the different passion voices. Please place your hands in Hokai Join, Cosmic Realm Buddha. We end as we began with silent meditation, this time with Jin Myo. Silent meditation on the sublime Dharma of Myo, preciousness of life. As it is. Thank you all very much for coming today. Ladies, if you please take care of the candles. We have lunch as usual today, so please stay for lunch. And we also will take our Sunday picture as well. So thank you so much. And those of you at home that tuned in, thank you so much for sharing the third jewel with us. Are you okay? Different when you guys sit there the whole time. When you get to get up this time.
Baby, beautiful.
Yeah, it's amazing. So something we did. Fantastic.
Oh, yeah, it's not easy. Especially Celeste.
Oh, yeah. When does that happen?
Well, it didn't happen until, and I was different kids, my son was not. It was up every night, exactly 3 o'clock. It was like an alarm. And my girls, they slept on the floor like 6 hours. Some kids do like a few months. My sister says, I know this child was down this way. 6 years old. The one.
Well, it's had a lot of infections over
That
this.
was that.
Oh,
And just he has a lot of even if he doesn't
Can you
have
possibly take a
infection.
picture?
Like
first?
his-
Yes. Let's, guys,
And-
no stress to leave, so let's quickly do this.
Oh, let's take the photo. Okay. Yes,
don't go with me.